Hey guys, what's up? It's Chill Stuff from MK Freaks. Today I'm bringing you a quick video on Tachanka. Now, you may have seen other videos already starting to go up on YouTube. There's a word in the air that there might be a Tachanka buff coming shortly from a little picture that was leaked. But I just want to talk about him at the moment, some of his flaws that he's got, as well as some of the ideas that I've got for him to be buffed. And this actually coincides with what is potentially rumoured for him, which is interesting because I just want to point out I called it ages ago. So let's start by talking about the bad things about Tachanka. Now, he's not picked very often, he's always at the bottom of the picking list, and when you pick him, you quite often get attempted to kick, or sometimes also team killed, because people are that frustrated with you picking him. Hashtag bad team. Now, the reason why he's actually bad is more because of his actual ability more than his person. He's heavily armoured, which makes him very hard to kill, especially when you put an armour pack on from Rook as well, and if you play him in the room, he's still very hard to kill. Tie that with his SMG, which is a very good gun to play with. He's actually, overall, quite a good player when you take away his ability. So, the reason why his ability is so bad is because of how easy you are to kill with it. So they have recently actually given him a buff a couple of updates ago, and that was where you could now put his gadget in more places. They made the space that you needed smaller to place it, and they also made it faster to take up and pick it back up and to place it down, so that you could change positions more easily. But it still didn't stop the problem, which is you can get peeked really easily when playing him, because if they've already zoned you out, or if they pick a corner and they know where you are, you can't strafe or move or even lean when you're playing Tachanka on his gun, which means that they can very easily get a couple of headshots on you before you even realise they're there. So in all honesty, the problem is he has no defense. Now, as you can see there, a lot of time people put shields in front of Tachanka, but it's still so easy to get a headshot. And then also, if you put a shield in front of the way, that also means that you can't shoot them without shooting their head. So there's no real advantage of it. So I've thought of a few ways of how to actually counter this, and how to make Tachanka more of a picked and useful player without making him overpowered, and actually probably make him more what he expected to be when the game first came out. And this actually has now been kind of rumoured with a picture that recently came out by Ubisoft, which I'll explain more in a moment. So now I'm going to talk about my idea I actually thought about for Tachanka to buff his ability. So what I believe should happen is he should have a shield which deploys when you deploy the gun. So that way it's a shield, a bit like Blackbeard's shield, on the front to help you against peekers. Now the way I was thinking about it is if you think of like the old World War II style Gatling gun that you'd have on the floor, and it'd have a shield in front of it where only the gun was actually going through the shield, if that makes sense. So that essentially you are completely covered but you can still shoot. I think that's how it should look. Now, there are lots of parameters that I've already thought about in regards to the advantages and disadvantages of the shield and how to make him not overpowered. So now I'm going to talk about that. So first of all, let's think of the advantages this shield would give him. So first of all, it means that you wouldn't be able to peek him without you basically having a better chance at hitting the enemy first with your gun. So therefore, it's going to make you actually want to stay on his turret. But then another advantage would be that normally you don't have the mobility with Tachanka, because you can't tilt and you can't move. So that way, if you had the shield on, you could then feel more safe sitting behind the shield, and you feel like you don't have to keep getting off it to move or avoid being peeked. So now let's talk about some of the disadvantages of the shield. Well, not disadvantages, should I say, but as in I'm going to talk about ways they can actually change the shield so that it's not too overpowered. So first of all, I was discussing with a mate online called Ajax that the first thing they want to consider is, will the shield move? So what I mean by this is, should it be a shield that goes down when you put down the Tachanka gun, which means that, for example, if you put it there, it would be right in front of you, but if you then looked left or right, like 90 degrees left or right, the shield would stay where it is. So it's kind of like where you place it is where the shield stays. Or the other debate would be, should the shield move with the gun? So wherever you're aiming is where the shield is. Now, the way they could also make that not overpowered is that they could make it so the shield is quite thin. So what that means is wherever you're looking with a Tachanka gun, that's where the shield is. Which means that, for example, in this situation you're about to see, if I had the shield on the front and I looked left, like I did there, someone could still shoot me from the right. Now, that could work. That would mean that he's still not overpowered, because you could still try and bait him out to get him from the other side. So another thing that you could think about with the shield is, should it be a full body, or should it be just the top half, a bit like Blackbeard's shield? Now that would also come down to how overpowered it is and how thin it is. I personally think it should be the whole body, because if you can still see his feet or the bottom half of his body, it'd still be easy to peek him or get a couple of, like, if you've got a quick burst of shots, you're still going to kill him. So I think it should be whole body. And then another thing you could think of is, should the shield copy Blackbeard's shield, in the sense that if you shoot it enough, should it break? Or should there be a glass window in the shield, a bit like a shield operator's one, but make that be able to break if you shoot it enough? So that's all the things that you could, the variables of the shield you can actually deal with. So you may still be thinking at this point, that's still overpowered, that's still going to make him too good. Well, it's not. When you actually think about it, all of the attacker's abilities would counter it. So, for example, if I was going against that Tachanka, as long as you've still droned him out and you know where he is, you could use, for example, grenades. You could use regular grenades to break his shield. You could use flash grenades and distract him and shoot him. You could use Twitch's drone from one side, and then when he's distracted, shoot him. You could use Ash. Maybe Ash's grenade launcher can break the shield. Long story short, this would not make him overpowered, but would make him a much more pickable operator. And due to that, I think this should be done. And like I said, Ubisoft have put a photo up, which has a photo very similar to it, that looks like it could be coming. So, let's wait and see if Ubisoft wants to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like and comment, and discuss what you think.